In 1967, the British government made 7 of these mobile cinemas. They made the very distinctive vehicles to travel around to engineering firms to teach them how they could improve their production techniques, all part of Harold Wilson's white heat of technology. Each vehicle towed a huge great trailer that was used as a demonstration space to complement the training that would take place on board the cinema. The scheme ended in 1974 and all the cinemas and their trailers were decommissioned. 1 or 2 of them briefly had lives as circus tour buses and mobile homes and even corporate units, but gradually over time they were scrapped. Only one remains, KJU 267E. She was bought by Lord McAlpine, the famous construction magnate, and he used her to promote the Flying Scotsman, the famous steam train. 30 years later, in 2005, unfortunately Audrey was found rotting in a field in Essex. However, thanks to the hard work of Ollie Halls and Emma Gifford, the cinema was restored, and over the last few years it's been travelling around the UK, visiting events and festivals, and going abroad as well. She's now affectionately called Audrey, and she's become a little bit of a celebrity. TV appearances include the BBC's Real History of Britain, as well as George Clarke's Amazing Spaces. So what happened to the trailer? It was separated from its cinema in 1975. Lord McAlpine recalls how he donated it to a project manager of his who was busy on a construction site up in the Clyde. It was used simply as an office. After that, the trail goes cold. In 2015, there was a phone call out of the blue, and following a short trip down to Sussex, one of the trailers had indeed been found. But is it the right one? A quick look at the back revealed it had exactly the same registration plate. KJU 267E. It was the same trailer. What were the chances? Knowing the significance of the find, the farmer very kindly allowed for Audrey and her trailer to be reunited once again. The next challenge is the restoration of the trailer, quite a significant job. Very much like the cinema, the plan is to restore it externally, very much like it would have been back in 1967. However, internally, much like the decisions Ollie took with the cinema, I'm going to use period design combined with modern technology. So a 1930s themed cocktail bar with booth seating. It's a very exciting challenge, and I have sourced some of the very best suppliers to ensure that this restoration is a huge success. Hi, as a quick addendum to the film you've just seen, I'm going to show you the development work on the trailer that's been going on over the last few months. It's been very busy. So I'm going to take you into this company here. It's Ward Jones near High Wycombe, who've been responsible for all the work, and show you what's been happening. You can see there in the background the trailer and various bits of work that have been going on. Let's go and have a closer look at some of the work. This new skirting has just been added by Brian Francis. Amazing sort of project. Keep in mind this lower end will be a pivoting piece, so you can see the various spaces for the lockers that will go into these spaces that will have a locker door, as was this here, and then go further along, a further 3 locker doors there. At the back here, there's the skirting continues, and there's going to be an additional locker door here with an additional locker compared to what there used to be. The main entrance to the trailer will be through this door, and there'll be a big ramp that comes down that will be hinged off here, and similarly at the top there'll be a large plate that will hinge upwards as well. And now inside the trailer, you can see there's a lot of work going on. All this aluminium box tubing has been added, which is offering structure and strength to the trailer. If I shake it, there's virtually no give whatsoever. It's very different previously. The old window that was an added window has been taken out. A new one has been made, not fitted yet. A new window will go in here as well, and at the far end too. The roof has been transformed. It's a whole lot stronger now. Box aluminium has been used, which curves with the arch as well. And so you could basically walk on that. The reglazing will take place in the next month. And then look at the floor. Floor was in pretty good state actually. So we've just laid plywood over the top, which so that's pretty much the floor finish now. And so work will progress, and I'll keep updating over the coming weeks and months. Thank you very much for coming on board today. We have a license with the Pathé Archives that gives us access to 85,000 films covering 80 years of British history. I have specially selected the next show to suit this wonderful event. Do enjoy the film, and I hope you have a very enjoyable day.
Lincoln is one of the most interesting cities in England, with a history going back to the ancient Britons. Picturesquely situated on the banks of the River Witham, its early importance was probably due to natural characteristics. The Romans recognized this, and Lincoln became a fortress. Romans, Danes, Normans, each in their turn occupied and improved the city. Henry II gave the citizens their first charter in 1157, and 250 years later the city became a county. About that time, this gateway, the Stonebow crossing High Street, was built, with the Guildhall above it. We have our housing problem, but the people of Lincoln had theirs when William the Conqueror destroyed 166 houses to make room for a mighty castle. Its strength and position brought much fighting to Lincoln, a fact which was no doubt used by local disarmament advocates. Modern Lincoln is no less attractive than its ancient counterpart. Such fine buildings as the law courts and the library sustain civic pride, and the public gardens provide the quietness in which the older citizens meditate on the past, and the younger members hope for the future. The glory of Lincoln is the noble cathedral, containing every variety of Norman and Gothic architecture. Consecrated in the 11th century, continual additions were made up to the 14th. The central tower contains Great Tom, a 5-ton bell. The cathedral not only represents nearly 850 years of Lincoln's history, but has given throughout the centuries a dignity worthy of that historic city.
Scanton, Lincolnshire. The last Lancaster bomber still flying had a rendezvous with surviving dam busters on the 24th anniversary of the raid on the Merner and Ada dams. Dr. Barnes Wallis, inventor of the bouncing bomb, was present for the reunion with men who successfully put one of his great ideas into effect. Both wore the dam busters tie. Bill Howarth and Fred Tees had nostalgic feelings as they looked at the rear guns. A flood of memory surely for Jerry Witherick, DFC, DFM. To serving officers of 617 Squadron, the name Guy Gibson holds the place Nelson has in the Navy. And the Lancaster is still revered as the best bomber produced by any Air Force in the World War. Vaughan, Reverend J. Williams and R. Kearns, their thoughts going back over the 24 years. Kearns, DSO, DFC, DFM. Jeff Rice, DFC, and Bill Townsend, CGM, DFM, would have loved to fly the aircraft, but that was not allowed. But just to feel the controls was enough. That was indeed a night to remember when the Lancasters of Squadron 617 set course for the Merner and Ada dams, hoping to drown part of the Ruhr where Germany made most of her guns and other munitions of war. nobody knew yet if Barnes Wallace's bouncing bombs would work. We show here extracts from the famous Dam Busters film.